88 degrees Fahrenheit today. Pretty cool. And then 215,109 miles on the odometer. It's June 19th of 2024. Welcome back to the Please Subscribe show. We're gonna head off here pretty soon to delivery. Just wanted to say good strides for Linda. She went by the church. She's showing interest in the church. And according to the good book, it's provided there so that there can be change for the good. That even includes bad habits like drinking too much. And I noticed there's a slight change there because she only chose to get wine rather than a whole case of beer. Plus I kind of talked her into changing, you know. I've had friends that have had problems with this type of stuff, and I can't reach all of them, so maybe that's why the show's there, one of the reasons. If we go to the church, I'll definitely tell you about the sermon, just like I talk about movies and things like that, but only it'll probably sound a little more real, and maybe I don't want to go around quoting scripture. I never wanted to do that. There's the butterfly. I don't want to just sit there and Bible thump, because I know everybody has the ability to accept God in their life. All right, setting off for delivery. First one, 539.8, 3.3. All right, we're gonna reset for today. And then yesterday we did not too bad on yesterday. Okay. All right, guys, if you look right there, he has a dog. He's trained his dog to hold a sign in his mouth, and that dog is very cute. I've gone by and talked to him. He's a pretty cool guy. So he'll put a little sign in the dog's mouth, and the dog will run around holding the sign. I don't know his name, but he's a great guy. And then that's the only time I've ever seen that. That dog is very obedient. I don't know if you know, but I came up with a book I did. I've done a few books, I wrote a few novels. The most recent one that I was working on is called Rib, also known as Dog Night Out. And it has to do with dogs and a cop that's on administrative leave. The protagonist is this cop that's on administrative leave, kind of like, it's a little like Road Warrior, George Miller's Road Warrior a little bit, but without all the trucks and stuff. And these basically displaced people with dogs rise up an army and try to overthrow basically the entire nation, starting with cops. But this one administrative cop kind of goes behind, you know, he kind of blends in with them. And it's kind of a good cop, bad cop thing, but it's a story, you know. I've written about 16 chapters of it. It's kind of done, it's nearly kind of poetic, but it's, it might be more than 16 chapters. I think it might be 18 chapters. I only sporadically like just jump on it and start writing it, just as if the Spiritus Monday is guiding me or something. I'll have to tell you guys about it a little bit later. It's not on Fan Fiction or Fiction Press. It has only been published, or it's only been posted on Facebook, on my channel. You have to scroll through quite a bit to find it. But I do have categories. So if you go to my Facebook categories and you look under novel stories or something like that, I'll get you the exact title. I think it's novel stories or something like that. You'll be able to find it under the Rib or Dog Night Out. All right, I found the novel in process. It has 19 chapters. It's called Rib, in parentheses, Dog Night Out, and it has 19 chapters, but it is on my Facebook, and it's under categories under novel stories. I just found it. So I just wanted to pay respect to Sam Shepard. Passed away a few years ago, I believe in 2017, of ALS. And what I know about Sam Shepard is when I read his plays, it's a lot like reading a book. And there were things he did in his disposable plays, like 1400,000 and Red Cross, where he presented a sense of serenity, where the characters would talk about swimming in a lake inside a forest, things like that. And some of the characters would talk about things that, like swimming, or and then they acted out, which Joe Chaikin helped him find a style of theater that came out of the theater of the open. A lot of his plays are descriptions of action, but they're done with dialogue, and meaning the characters themselves are talking. And they're coming from their point of view, not from his thinking mind, but from like a character's point of view. And they're acting things out because we do that in nature, naturally. It's very real, even though he was kind of considered absurdist, like an absurd dramatist. So they would talk about swimming, and then they would show you what it's like to swim. And there's one moment in Red Cross where he's talking about the Australian crawl. That's the front crawl, known as the freestyle swimming. And the lady is a maid, and they're in this cabin, and she's wearing herself down, trying to do this imaginary swimming thing. And he did this in a lot of his plays and stuff. Not just swimming, but he did refer to the water quite a bit, aquatic stuff and everything. But the serenity is in the fact that the characters, they reveal their position, and they're sometimes talking about swimming in a lake inside a forest, that kind of thing. You have to read 1400,000, you have to read Red Cross. They're very unique plays. I'm reading those right now. Six 371.5. Good. Yeah, this little Greenwood Funeral Home and Memorial Park. It's a little U-turn right here. It's a nice little place. We went in there. Did just a generic vlog of dead people. We walked along this side. I think it was like E11 all the way through like E20 or something. I'll have to look at the schematic. It's a rabbit hole right there. The pub. And that's where the food's going. Seven 6 2.9. So I have thought about running for president. I know it's a long, long road, but my theory here is let's make these portable signs that have a device on them. So as long as they're held by human hands, they would gain money because of time. Advertisement is very important to all different types of businesses. So as long as they're holding a sign and holding it upright, then it would start to gain money. And they could put information into this device that would be connected to who they are. And then you basically use that to cash it out. It's like a hardship sign. and it's like an immediate job, but it would take discipline, just like it takes discipline to have to hold a sign up in advertisement. And there could be all different takes on that, you know, the way the sign moves and stuff, you get more, or where you go and things like that. I mean, they're already kind of doing it with Uber. If you look at Uber, you just turn it on, you begin to make money. But of course you do a service. Advertisement is a service, and those people usually hold a sign of some sort. These signs would be recirculated throughout the city in different spots. They could pick them up and they could hold them, and they would start to gain money, as long as they're held by a human hand and it's somewhere around. Now, the idea is to put those people back on track, where it's not just a cash out society, but it's also one where they can get back in touch with people too. So it's a telltale sign where social workers who are paid by the government can go and speak with these people and bring them into a form of community, even if their community is very eccentric and very different than other people. So it'd be designed to fit around them. Why not? You learn it from theater. We participate in theater together. So we're participating with their struggle as a country. Now that's something you can run on. 7254 1.6. So yeah, so these signs can be revolutionized. Now, if, of course, the government asked Apple to help, what it's designed to do is to bring the displaced, I just call them displaced, closer to functioning society, I guess you could say. Functioning society as in, like, well, this person has a house. Let's see, find a house, and they're well established, they're making their payments, they have a connection with A.D.W.C, that would be a security company. They may have a connection with cars and all these different industries, because homeowners are usually, for one thing, they usually pay all their bills and they're functioning people, right? But you got a guy on the corner that can hold a sign. Okay, there's a difference between the amount of work that's being done by a homeowner, which sometimes there's 70 hours a week workers. They didn't get the home for free. But of course, in the eyes of grace, they did. They just, have to come to realize it. But what I'm saying is they worked, the physical labor and mental, and you have a person that can hold a sign. So this little tracker would be on the sign, and there would be all different types of designs on the sign. From one that even looks like a homemade sign, to things that look like a business made the sign. And mostly the idea was probably lightweight and functional. And it would actually have a timer, and this is all stuff that go into effect, and they can punch in a little number, the little number they usually use, and that form of currency, which they've earned themselves, can be used in their type of society. And they can also have connections to what I think in the future what we should build are these basically like hotels for displaced. So people can stay there because we're also including regular functioning people that have hundreds of thousands of dollars, or say $300,000 or $400,000 a year, and including them in the society of the people that are displaced. That might smell a little sweaty. And so other people could stay at the hotel, and so could the displaced. So we start forming a bond between the two. Now, it's not like a hotel for everybody, but it would still be, that currency would be able to be used for the sake of what New York does for what's called a right to shelter. And that's going on right now. Watch Cash Jordan. He's an important vlogger. He's quick-witted, quick-tongue, and he's all over it, okay? But these things have not been implemented, and if they were implemented, he'd be the first to cover it, especially in the big cities. Oh, that's a nice garden. 812.7, okay, 811.6, 3.1. This is the hospital district. They like pizza too. All right, they're missing a 3, so it's a little bit further. They put 621 rather than 3621. Cujo, the dog that Cujo. Sounds like Cujo. Willing, on the other side of Willing. This is where my friend, well, kind of relatively the same area. He lived off of Willing, my friend Rob. But way further down that way. Haven't seen him in a long time. I detached from a lot of friends from Facebook. I was going through my second divorce. And I just kind of went into isolation for a while. And then I refriended, you know. So that's one part of Willing. And then it goes into another area of Willing by these railroad tracks. Ooh, another dog. Yeah, this is also back in mid-1990s where I was bit by his dog. His dog was a very mean dog. Bit me in the hand, a little mugger. Little meanie dog. I was so mad. I file reported the ER, which I probably shouldn't have gone that far. I kind of wanted to put a mug on the dog, or at least a muzzle. The dog's passed away since then. His name was Kane. Mean old dog. Bit Dana, the artistic director of Stage West, on the butt. Yeah, this is Ryan. So this is Willing over here. That's 63621. And that's the road. I lived on Willing on the other road. Rob lived on this one. Down there. A few blocks down. I don't know. I'm gonna finish this one up. But yeah, I used to hang out with him all the time, and we just talk about screenplay writing and movie stars and directors all the time, and music too, all the time, and writing, playwriting. And he would come visit me all the time at Texas Wesleyan University. We'd sometimes write songs together just to get the words out, you know.